It's Major League Baseball on ESPN, presented by Hand-Cooked Tire, part of Coca-Cola. Zero sugar, race to zero. Boston right now with Dustin Pedroia looking on. The Sox 2.5 games up on the Yankees after New York bludgeoned Minnesota this afternoon on ESPN. The Orioles, in the meantime, playing out the string, trying to spoil Boston's march towards a division title. And with that, we say welcome at last, Buster Olney in the booth. That is what I'm talking about. There's a first for everything. It's going to be a blast. With David Ross, I'm Adnan Burke as well. Chris Sale certainly has been sensational here in Boston. Although, David, it's been a tale of two halves, just like it has been all of his career. First half, scintillating. Second half, not as much.
Every time this guy takes him out, it's must-watch TV. This is a guy that's got electric stuff. He's been dominant in our game for a long, long time. His slider is virtually unhittable for a right-handed hitter like myself. Got a decent changeup, been getting hit a little bit, but must-watch TV, and look for him to dial it up for the Red Sox. He's their go-to guy in these big games.
Let's face it, Corey Kluber probably has taken the lead for the American League Cy Young Award, but this is so close that with a couple of strong outings down the stretch, maybe a little help from Kluber's opponents, Sale could move back in the lead to take that award.
Yeah, it's amazing how good Sale has been, and yet the Indians are the team that has gotten him, so Kluber can thank his teammates if he ends up winning it. Another storyline which is fascinating is David Price, given $217 million by Boston just a year and a half ago, and instead now he's going to be a reliever. David, he's going to come out of the bullpen. It's a risky move for John Farrell, but he thinks the upside is there.
Well, the good thing is I was there in 08 when he came up as a rookie in Tampa Bay and started coming out of the bullpen. His stuff was even more electric than when he was starting. Look for the playoff. If they make the playoffs, which it looks like they will, that's an important piece in these playoff situations where you got that guy to extend to your closer in Craig Kimbrell.
Farrell has been running from comparisons between Price and Andrew Miller, but the Red Sox are really excited about what they saw him in the first game, and if they have a lead late here tonight, he could get an opportunity for a save.
Will be fascinating to see if he does indeed get a chance to come on the mound here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Chris Sale, of course, will be the focus of our attention against the Baltimore lineup. Jonathan Scope has been terrific for Baltimore all season long. Let's go back to the studio, check in with John Brickley. Brick.
Adnan, thanks so much. Alongside Mark Teixeira, we talk about this Red Sox team so many times this year, winning in extras, have done so twice so far in this series, looking for the sweep and trying to extend that lead, or at least keep that lead, on the Yankees in the AL East. Speaking of New York, in a matchup today against the Twins, Luis Severino started this game, fell behind early, but Aaron Judge, two-run shot, is 45th.
Remember when everyone's saying Aaron Judge was done, he wasn't going to have a good second half? Well, he's turned it around.
Next batter after that, Gary Sanchez, and I think the conversations he's been having text with J-Lo and A-Rod working as the Yankees come up with back-to-back home runs, win this one 11-3.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Twins, though, only a game up on the Angels for that final wild card spot. Angels and Indians coming up at 10 Eastern on ESPN. Giancarlo Stanton going with the 3-wood for his 56th home run.
Everybody in baseball is waiting to see if Stanton's going to hit 60, one closer today.
Marlins once again a winner as this telecast of Major League Baseball on ESPN presented by Hand-Cooked Tire. Chase down your passion, never halfway. And in part by Ally, do it right. Adnan, Rossi, and Buster with the call from Camden Yards coming up on the other side of the break.
Limits are meant to be pushed. It's the only way progress is made. Some prefer to pace themselves. But I choose to floor it. Chase down your passion. Never halfway. Hand-Cooked Tire.
We are the TV doctors of America, and we may not know much about medicine, but we know a lot about drama.
From scandalous romance
to ridiculous plot twists.
Son?
Dad. We also know you can avoid drama by getting an annual checkup.
So we're partnering with Cigna to remind you to go see a real doctor.
Go, know, and take control of your health.
It could save your life. Doctor poses.
Dad.
Cigna, together, all the way.
Dynamic performance, track-tuned handling, and aggressive styling. The bold Lexus IS.
Lease the 2017 IS Turbo for $299 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
At Ally, we're doing digital financial services right. But if that's not enough, we have 7,500 allies looking out for one thing. You.
Call in the next 10 minutes to stay.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every dollar.
Put down the phone.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every cent.
Grab your wallet.
Access denied.
And if that's still not enough to help you save,
Ooh, I need these.
we'll just bring out the snowplow.
You don't need those.
We'll do anything, seriously, anything to help our customers.
Thanks.
Ally, do it right.
When food is good and clean and real, it's okay to crave. And with Panera Catering, there's more to go around. Panera, food as it should be.
They're not adults. Take them to a kid's dentist. Dentistry for children. They're not adults. Take them to a kid's dentist. Dentistry for children.
It's here. Now is the time to brighten your home for the holidays, and Progressive Lighting is ready to help. Come in and save 45% on home decor, including furniture, lamps, mirrors, framed art, and accessories. We have a great selection of lamps in many styles and finishes, perfect for any room. Hurry in and celebrate the savings at Progressive Lighting.
Almost time for first pitch. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, one of the most beautiful parks in all of baseball. Boston's magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 2. If they win and the Angels lose later tonight, which you'll see on ESPN, then John Farrell's team will be going back to the playoffs at least as a wild card. But of course, they have aspirations of the division. 2.5-game lead over New York after the Yankees dominated the Twins earlier on ESPN. As for the lineup that John Farrell will be trotting out today, so far it's been a couple of extra innings games. You know these guys have been getting their rest in there, but Andrew Benintendi, Mookie Betts, a 3-4 David have been key for them.
Yeah, those guys are in the middle of the lineup, got to produce. But I'm looking at Hanley Ramirez tonight, looking to see if he's healthy, if they're going to go anywhere in the postseason and where they expect to go in Boston is the World Series. He's going to have to be a key component. He's going to have to carry power. And you see Christian Vasquez there. Pray for Puerto Rico.
No question. We echo those thoughts. Our thoughts and prayers with all those, the beautiful island nation of Puerto Rico. Of course, some of the players here, Buster, relatives back home in Puerto Rico, so of course a lot of them have their minds elsewhere tonight.
Yeah, Christian Vasquez, I talked to him before the game, and he said that they were waiting to hear from family. They had not heard from family since yesterday because the power phone line's down.
Certainly a challenging situation there, so we hope it gets back to normal as soon as possible. Wade Miley gets a start for Buck Showalter's Orioles tonight, and it has been a tough season, although against Boston, he's fared well. 2-0 with a 1.5 ERA, and he starts off Bogaerts with strike one.
Really likes to work fast. Should be a guy, I mean, he goes 3-2 a lot, but he likes to work fast. He wants to get that ball in the go. I talked to Rick Dempsey before the game, and he was saying there's nothing like this guy. He throws 4 pitches and can't wait to throw the 5th. He's going to work fast.
You know what's interesting, though? When you hear guys who work fast, isn't that an oxymoron? The guy who works fast and nibbles. Right?
That's what's funny. When he told me that, I knew the stat where he had gone 3-2 almost every hitter. And you're thinking, wait a minute, he should be throwing strikes and working fast.
Bogaerts slaps that ball to second. Scope takes care of it for out number 1. Dustin Pedroia is back in the lineup. That's good news for Boston fans after a bizarre play. Connected with the ball and hit him in the face.
I hadn't seen that too much. And you do get some funny, I got a foul ball once off my back knee, and you think, how does that happen? But I talked to Pete. He said he's feeling fine. He says his nose is a little crooked now, and he said, but it's a better look for him. It wasn't too pretty before that. Typical Dustin Pedroia.
The dirt ball, as they call him affectionately in the clubhouse, is tough to keep him out of that lineup, as David Ross knows firsthand.
The foul ball off his face is the least of his issues right now. He is playing through a serious knee issue. You can see it in the way that he runs. It's been amazing to me how effective he's been over the last couple of weeks.
I got a chance to play with this guy for 2 years, and in 13 he basically ruptured a thumb ligament the second series of the season against the Yankees and played all season. Ended up hitting close to 300 and was probably him and David Ortiz, obviously one of our best players, and he was playing hurt all year. So you're right, it's hard to keep him out of the lineup.
Pops this one up to short. Calling for it is J.J. Hardy. Here is the play. In case you missed it the other night, Pedroia facing Dylan Bundy. This was on Monday. So makes contact. This goes right in his face.
Right off the plate, too. Right in the nose. I mean, bleeding right away. What amazed me, I talked to Brock Holt. He came in and got a hit. Got a hit right away. I was like, man, were you even loose? He goes, no. I figured if I strike out, it was Pedroia's punch out anyways. It wasn't mine.
That was the first time I'd ever heard the phrase nasal contusion.
Right.
And to him, and apparently it took them a long time to stop the bleeding.
Benintendi here, right back to Miley. So he works quickly. 3 up, 3 down. And it'll be Baltimore's chance to go to work. 10 pitches to get through the top of the first. We'll just get warmed up from Baltimore.
7 ingredients. Wonder what they are.
Corrosion inhibitor.
Solvent fluid.
Demulsifier.
Fuel detergent number 1.
Fuel detergent number 2.
Anti-adhesion compound.
And marker molecules.
Get better gas mileage with Synergy. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when I was too busy with the kids to get a repair estimate. I just snapped a photo and got an estimate in 24 hours.
My insurance company definitely doesn't have that.
You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
This week only, don't order Domino's over the phone. Order online.
This week only, order any pizza online at menu price and get the second one free when you carry out.
It's not the turbocharged engine or the panoramic sunroof. It's not the heated seats or the driver assistance features. No, our greatest feature is one you don't even see. For 19 years, a portion of every Hyundai sold has gone to Hope on Wheels to help find a cure for childhood cancer. $130 million later, hope is our greatest feature, and it comes standard on every Hyundai.
I'm your super popular host, Rex Ryan. Give me some dirt on Tom Brady.
He eats Doritos at night before he goes to bed.
That's the best you can do. You played with him for how long? No wonder he wanted to throw the ball to Wes Welker more than you.
That's a crude thing to say.
Chris Sale chasing 300. 15 Major League Baseball pitchers with 300 or more strikeouts in a single season. 34 total seasons. The last one to do it was Clayton Kershaw. He had 301 just a couple years ago, but Pedro Martinez was the last one in the American League. That was 313 strikeouts back in 1999. Chris Sale is sitting on 287. He's 13 away, so maybe we'll see history on the mound tonight. So far, he leads the AL not only in strikeouts, but also innings pitched. And his last 4 starts versus Baltimore, Rossi, he's been dynamite.
Listen, this guy is absolutely electric. You talk about the strikeout. He's never in trouble because he has that kind of strikeout rate. He's always can pitch out of trouble, whether it's a ground ball that most guys rely on or the punch out, as Chris Sale relies on.
The concern about him this month has been the flatness of his slider. He's gotten hurt on that, tried to mix his pitch repertoire a little bit to change some things, but he's had some late season decline in performance during the course of his career.
Most guys that I know, the fatigue does create the drop of the arm, and you get the sinker becomes flat if you're a sinker ball pitcher, the slider becomes sweepy, and then the changeup doesn't have the depth. So late in the season, you see that a lot.
Starts off Austin Hayes with a strike. The Baltimore lineup will be facing, the first name we noticed, Buster, that's missing is Manny Machado.
Yeah, he doesn't feel well, and Buck Showalter said, you know what, maybe he shouldn't have played yesterday either. They were thinking about sending him home for tonight's game, and they're hoping they can get him back in the lineup tomorrow.
Yeah, Buck Showalter knows at this point in the season, trying to keep guys healthy. In August, Machado was the player of the month. It's rare to find a player who had such a dramatic shift from first half to second half. Machado in the first half was hitting 230, 307 since the All-Star break. The second largest difference for any American League player. The only one with a more sizable difference, Byron Buxton, who went from 216 before the break and 310 since.
Well, and that's what, like Buster touched on. It's a lot of times sitting at home, you don't know what's going on with these players from day to day. You don't know whose knee's hurt, who's not feeling good, who's sick. May have a bad thumb or a bad hamstring, but they're playing through it. We're taught to play through it as players, and take the field, no matter what, as best you can.
Austin Hayes strikes out 3 pitches there from Sale. So let's get the countdown going here, boys. Get some K signs up here. 12 away for Chris Sale from 300.
Goes with the high heater here. 2 strikes. Going to be tough for Austin Hayes to lay off this high heater. You don't know whether that sweeping slider's coming, that good changeup. He likes to pitch in some, but you're not going to catch up to that high heat from Chris Sale.
Trey Mancini, the second hitter for Baltimore tonight, fouls off the first pitch.
He was inspired by Mark Burley, of course, a longtime teammate, Chris Sale. This is part of the reason why he works fast, doesn't shake off signs. The 5th fastest worker in baseball this year, 20.7 seconds between pitches.
Let me tell you, the catchers love that.
Wait, no shaking off for the time?
Both. Both. Work fast and let me run this thing. And it puts a lot of confidence. Sandy Leon there, I talked to him before the game, and you love that as if your pitcher's working fast, ready to go, because usually you're a couple pitches ahead. I'm two pitches ahead using my mind, getting ready for, okay, if he fouls this off, or if I get a strike here or a ball here, what am I going with next? You're ready to roll, and Sandy's done his homework. He knows each hitter.
Let's quickly go back to studio. John Brickley with Mark Teixeira.
Adnan, the NL wildcard game 2 weeks from tonight. Cardinals 3 back after the Rockies lost today. Matt Carpenter going yard for his 21st.
Yeah, his average is down a little bit this year, but still putting up really good numbers, doing a lot of damage this season.
Cardinals with the early 1-0 lead. Adnan, back to you.
All right, Brick, Tex, thank you very much. Keep us posted. St. Louis still alive as Sale strikes out Mancini. He's 11 away from 300.
So the way he's going right now, we'll get it in the 5th inning.
Another high heater with 2 strikes. That angle that he creates coming at that 3/4, it just rides up on you. Underneath the baseball, you see the spin on that baseball. It's kind of a side-to-side spin where he gets that elevation. The ball almost climbs on you when you're in the box.
Jonathan Scope, who has had a sensational season for Baltimore, hitting 3rd tonight. Scope, 51 RBIs since the All-Star break, 4th most in Major League Baseball and 1st in the American League. Career highs in home runs and RBI and almost hitting 300.
He has had a career year.
Scope there hits that ball into center, and that'll be handled by Jackie Bradley Jr. 3 up, 3 down for both pitchers. We'll see what Baltimore can do. Sale only threw 11 pitches. Riley only needed 10.
Introducing Wendy's new Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
It's a Giant Junior?
Yeah, it's a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger with double the fresh, never frozen beef, bacon, and cheese. So it's made a big name for itself. For a limited time, get the Giant JBC meal for just $5.
At AutoZone, we test batteries, starters, and alternators for free.
I got a bad battery or alternator. I'm not really sure. Hey.
Well, luckily we test all that for free.
Do you need an extra helper? This one's free, right here.
Let's get you what you need.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
That's former All-Pro linebacker Clay Matthews Jr., also known as Dad. We Matthews know a thing or two about football. With PlayStation Vue, they can watch live football on up to 5 devices at the same time. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice!
Nice.
Great.
Stay connected with football all season long, no matter where you are.
Watch live football with PlayStation Vue. Start your free trial today.
PlayStation.
Boogie on down to Cricket Wireless to get unlimited data for only $50 per month with the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get a free select smartphone when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
I take pictures of sunrises, but with my back pain, I couldn't sleep and get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve.
I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Enjoy the ride. It's starting right now.
One more ride, one more race. We go all out.
He got him.
One more ride, one more race. We don't slow down, ain't no breaks. I'ma go all out.
How good was that?
No matter what we face.
This ball crushed.
Gotta go now, go now. I'ma go off, I'ma go off. I'ma go off, yeah, I gotta go now.
No better time to be a baseball fan, no better place to be than ESPN. Wednesday Night Baseball. Later tonight, we got the Indians and the Angels as LA tries to claw towards a playoff spot. Cubs and Brewers. When's the last time you saw a big-time game on ESPN? Miller Park, late September. Cannot wait, as that division is still up for grabs. And the Brewers could catch the Rockies for that second wild card. And then it's the Angels and Astros Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. Games also streaming live on the ESPN app. And, of course, Buster will be in Houston for the game on Sunday.
Yeah, how about the Brewers? A half game behind the Rockies as we speak, right? For the wild card at this point? That's crazy.
Stunning. You look at back in July, double-digit leads for the D-backs and Rockies. You go, this thing's done. Not so. Milwaukee, great offense. Craig Counsell done a wonderful job. Mookie Betts here now for Boston, leading off the top of the second.
Not to bring up bad memories for you, David, but 2011, as you guys were hemorrhaging that lead, you're with the Atlanta Braves. What was that like through September?
Well, it's you feel like you can never win. Probably like the Cleveland Indians felt a couple weeks ago, they could never lose. It's a miserable feeling, and you feel like no matter what. Craig Kimbrell gave up a walk-off home run for the Marlins. I mean, it's like no matter what you do, it seems like the ball is going to bounce the other way. And thank goodness the Boston Red Sox went through the same thing because we got to hide under the radar a little bit in Atlanta. But yeah, it was misery, man. I mean, you're trying you almost try harder and it makes it worse.
The good news for you, though, is you're still welcomed back with open arms by teammates. I see you here fraternizing with Red Sox teammates. You left on good terms, Rossi, with everybody. Let's go back to the studio. John Brickley, Mark Teixeira.
And an update for you on the Cubs and the Rays. Chicago, the hottest team in baseball, 7 straight wins, but John Lester's struggles against Tampa Bay continue.
Yeah, he left one right down the middle there, and Souza's got serious pop. Can't do that.
Magic number to clinch the NL Central, 9, guys. Back to you.
All right, thanks, fellas. John Lester, a guy you know well, Ross. He has been struggling in the second half of the season. What have you seen?
Yeah, he's just a little flat. I think coming back off the DL, he hadn't been as sharp. Ball's just flat in the zone. It doesn't have any bite to his cutters. Breaking ball's a little loopy. I think that DL stint or the reason why he went on there may have been some fatigue in the lat, and just doesn't look like he's back to strength. It just looks, a lot like we're talking about Scherzer and some of these guys that are struggling a little bit down the stretch. They need to, get that intensity back up and get their stuff a little more on 2 planes.
Does he reach out to you for input and ask you what you see?
No, he's good about staying away from that, and I really honestly wouldn't want him to unless it was just me and him in a room, and just because I want to stay away from, that's their team now, and I had my time, and Wilson does a great job, and they have to create their own relationship and have to, kind of come up with going through the good and bad to figure things out if they're going to be successful for many years.
It's like divorced parents, right? You're handing it off, right?
Oh, God.
Rossi just texts on weekends. That's how he's doing it.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, buddy? I may let him vent every once in a while, or he'll text me. We stay in touch, but I try to stay away from his outings and talk about things like that. And I'm close with the coaching staff there, too, and they'll ask me some questions every once in a while, but for the most part, I stay out of it.
Hanley Ramirez here, 2-2 against Miley. Misses low inside.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the game he's going to have. I talked to Victor, their assistant hitting coach down there, and he said Hanley looked really good in the cage today and looked for a big game out of him. So the Red Sox could definitely, when he gets hot, man, he can carry you.
Looking there, so Miley with his first strikeout of the game.
Wasn't looking for this pitch here. Fastball middle. Still getting his timing down, I guess, from being a little banged up, because this is the ball you want to hit. 4-seamer, pretty much right down the middle. I think he thought that maybe was going to fade like that first changeup or something.
Or you think he might have been looking for something else?
Maybe that changeup. He threw him a good changeup first pitch of the at bat, and was dying down at the end like that pitch there. Something going away from him. I think he thought maybe the bottom was going to fall out of it, and it was a good 4-seamer at the knees. Miley, that's a pitcher's pitch down. Good angle.
Sam Travis, the first baseman for Boston tonight, quickly down 0-2. You see number 59 that jumps out to you there with Travis. You go, all right.
It just your call-ups, and they love this guy. Talking to John and Brian Butterfield, they love his mentality. He's no batting gloves, just your. They said, I said, how's Travis? And they just said, I said, I want to talk to him. He's friends with Kyle Schwarber, and they played together in college. So I was going to go over and tell you, he said, you're not going to get much out of him. You might get a. That's what he looks like in the box.
Unlike Evan Gaddis, just barehanded, ready to go to work. This time he lifts a fly ball into left, and Trey Mancini settles under it. Wade Miley off to a good start so far. To the bottom of the second we go here in Baltimore.
Who can turn the world on with a smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? Well, it's your girl and you should know it. Each glance and every little movement you show it. You're gonna make it after all.
It takes a long time to get to the top. But with America's best bumper-to-bumper limited warranty, the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan will be there every step of the way.
You always pay your insurance on time. Tap one little bumper and up go your rates. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it?
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Champagne and models, potpourri on my yacht made of Cuban mahogany. Watch this.
Don't get mad. Get E-Trade and get invested.
What crouching in average jeans feels like. What crouching in Duluth ballroom jeans feels like. Duluth Trading Ballroom Jeans. Crouch without the ouch. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
Chris Sale, a couple of strikeouts in the bottom of the first. He's 11 away from 300. You talk about dominant pitchers in the game. Who does he remind you of, David Ross?
Well, it reminds me of Madison Bumgarner, and you'll see here in this video breakdown. They start a little bit different, but they get to the same position. High leg kick, hiding the ball from you, glove high. We're going lower half here is going towards, the first base dugout, swinging it out there, all momentum, arm behind the head, and comes out of nowhere right here on a three-quarter angle. When you're hitting against a guy like that and it's coming from that three-quarter angle, it's almost like you have to stay inside the ball and swing up on the ball, which is not what we're taught. We're taught to hit down on the ball. We're taught to hit a line drive. You're talking about swinging up and inside the ball. That's why guys like Paul Goldschmidt have such success off Bumgarner. You're seeing that angle, an angle you never see from the right-handed hitter. It's nasty. Your eyes don't want to look. Almost, you're looking at Dustin Pedroia when you're in the box rather than at the pitcher of the angle they're coming from. In between where maybe Dustin and Jackie Bradley Jr. are, you're looking at an area you're used to maybe above the head. They hide it so well, and then it just explodes out of their hand because you don't see it.
In spring training, we had a game with the Rangers, and they were playing the Dodgers, and Kershaw was pitching, and Shin-Soo Choo was not in the lineup, a left-handed hitter, and I asked him, are you out because of Kershaw? He goes, no. He said, that doesn't bother me. He said, Chris Sale? Yeah, that would bother me.
I can't imagine being a left-handed hitter facing those two guys, because it's he's coming from behind you. Literally, he's coming from behind you. The side, and the explosion right at the end. You never face, it's really not a sidearm lefty, but a three-quarter guy that really turns his whole back to you and looks like they're going to the first base on deck circle. All their momentum and then explosion.
And of course, this was the site of Randy Johnson versus John Kruk. By the way, Manny Machado out of the lineup. Who steps into the lineup? Ryan Flaherty, left-handed hitter. batting ninth against Chris Sale. How do you think he felt when he saw the lineup card?
I bet he was not. I talked to J.J. Hardy before, and he hadn't played in a little while, and he said, "Yeah, go get him. We got Chris Sale tonight." I said, "Welcome to a backup player." That's what I had. It's like when it's your day to play, it's your day to play, and doesn't matter. I remember I had 14 days off with San Diego, and Boach comes to me after the game. He's like, we were playing Atlanta, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, you got it tomorrow. Sorry, Smoltzy." I'm like, "That's all right. I'm just happy to play." But you're like, "Hey, okay, let me get my sleep and do some homework."
Adam Jones there deposits that ball into left for a base hit.
So let me ask you this along those lines. I heard lots of stories when I covered teams that there were veteran players who would have strategic ailments. If there was a really, really nasty pitcher like a Chris Sale, all of a sudden player X,
yeah, my hammy's a little tight, Skipper. Yeah, I've definitely been on those teams and had those teammates. But it's almost better when you're a bench player. You want to be out there. I mean, everybody wants to be out there, and the guy that doesn't, those are usually on losing teams. Honestly, if I had to bench, put my finger on those type guys, those are guys on losing teams. You need your horses out there for the best and against the best.
We'll take the full list of names. Buster and I'll tweet it out later on.
Yeah. I'll throw everybody on their bus as soon as we get out of here.
Wellington Castillo up right now for the Orioles. As you saw the graphic, the 7th player on Baltimore to hit 20 or more home runs this season. So say this for Baltimore. They will not be going to the playoffs, but once again, ton of home runs. They lead the league in that category. In fact, 7 tied for the most 20 home run hitters by any team in a single season in Major League history. Blue Jays also did it back in 2010.
Well, that's the one thing as a visiting player coming in here, and especially as a catcher, this Baltimore team wants to swing the bat. They're not looking to just get to first. They want to hit, and they're bringing some power throughout that lineup, 1 through 9.
Ooh. To the catchers.
I'm talking to him right now like, "Hey, where's that? How we looking?" Just up and in, just a hair hits the top of the electronic strike zone right there, and Sandy Leone even makes it look better than it actually was. That's a pretty good pitch. I'm surprised he. Well, it's catcher in the box. That's why you got Welly hit. You got to. Oh, you're not going to let that one go. Got to let the catcher. You got to give the catcher some love. He's the one protecting you.
Yeah.
I always thanked him for that. Next time I came out, like, "Hey, thanks for not punching me out on that one heater in."
Do you think it worked for you?
No. But I mean, being nice. Figure you're going to attract more bees with honey than That's the way I look at it.
Todd
might get one. I need all of them.
Todd Tishner behind the plate, considered a hitter-friendly umpire, and there Sale will strike out Castillo. Let's quickly go back to the studio. Brick and Tex.
Brewers and the Pirates. Milwaukee at now with a chance to be tied with Colorado for that second wild card spot. Jesus Aguilar.
Big man who hit a moonshot right here.
Milwaukee's been red hot, Adnan. 3 straight, winning 8 of their last 11 as well.
Break out the beer, bratwurst, and cheese curds. I love it, Brick. The Brewers are hanging around a half game back now of Colorado.
I talked to Eric Thames yesterday, and he said that this team is like the bad news Bears right now. It's just how loose they are. He said, "Hey, there's no pressure on us." And Aguilar right there, he said, is right in the center of that team's culture.
Need those guys right now, and that says a ton to me, that they're just, they don't care. Like they know they're not supposed to be there. They're playing with house money, so they're playing loose, swinging for the fences, and that ball right there was hurt. If I can find a good word on TV. I was about to say something bad. Yeah,
choosing a selective adjective.
Yes. Let's clean that up, David Ross. We're on national television. My mom would be so proud.
Mark Trumbo, speaking of putting a hurt on the ball, has had a down season. 237, 23 homers, 65 RBI. We'll talk later, Buster, about the future for the Orioles, but contract, this one's burdensome for Baltimore right now.
This contract and the one for Chris Davis, they have a lot of money invested in home run hitters at a time when there is a saturation of home run hitters. And what they need is pitching, and their farm system not in good shape with that. That's going to be the focus in the offseason.
Trumbo there, the bouncer down the third base line is foul.
Think about this number, okay? As of this morning, 110 players in the big leagues have 20 or more homers. 153 players have 15 or more homers. So if you're the Orioles and you have 2 more years of Mark Trumbo and you have 5 more years, I think, of Chris Davis, a lot of money tied in with 2 guys at a time when you can find power hitters.
And in a homer-friendly ballpark. I mean, the ball flies out of here, and you're right. They're going to hit the long ball, and their lineup is built for that. But, yeah, I think I retired 1 year too soon. How many did you say with 20?
110.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, if I hit 10 as a backup, you're just, like, dancing through the streets.
Right. Rather than Dancing with the Stars.
There's our dancing reference for the day. I'm sorry, people.
It's mandatory. Trumbo up the middle, and the Sox are going to turn 2. We're scoreless through 2 innings as Chris Sale 10 strikeouts away from 300 on the season. The bottom third of Boston's lineup coming up.
They're not adults. Take them to a kid's dentist.
Dentistry for children.
They're not adults. Take them to a kid's dentist.
Dentistry for children.
It's here. Now is the time to brighten your home for the holidays, and Progressive Lighting is ready to help. Come in and save 45% on home decor, including furniture, lamps, mirrors, framed art, and accessories. We have a great selection of lamps in many styles and finishes, perfect for any room. Hurry in and celebrate the savings at Progressive Lighting.
7 ingredients. Wonder what they are.
Corrosion inhibitor.
Solvent fluid.
Demulsifier.
Fuel detergent number 1.
Fuel detergent number 2.
Anti-adhesion compound.
And marker molecules.
Get better gas mileage with Synergy. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
You're a brave man, Mr. Stevens. Your testimony will save lives. Mr. Stevens, this is your new name. This is your new house and a perfectly inconspicuous SUV. You must become invisible.
I'll take my chances.
The Autumn Carved Turkey is back for a limited time at Subway. So much turkey.
Major League Baseball on ESPN, presented by Synergy. Fuel technology. Brought to you by Exxon and Mobil. Adnan Burke alongside David Ross and Buster Olney in the booth for this one. Red Sox and Orioles were scoreless through 2. As Wade Miley versus Chris Sale. So far, so good for Miley, as he faces the bottom third of Boston's lineup. Marrero leading it off here.
Talking to John Farrell before the game. Devin's in there to replace Devers. Feels like he just needs a little bit of a break. Rest him. Got the off day tomorrow. Give the young kid, first time he's been in September baseball, give him a little bit of a break, get him refreshed for those last couple games. It's nice when you get, as a player, back, an everyday player, especially back-to-back days off, to get your feet back under you.
Devers had 8 home runs in his first 20 games, all before his 21st birthday. 0 home runs in his last 28. So I can see Farrell's thinking, just give him a break here, because obviously we're going to need this kid come playoff time.
And he's made a couple errors. You see the numbers here. He's made a couple errors his last, I think, 5 games. And, I think they just want to get his feet back under him.
Marrero there, the grounder to third. Flaherty makes the play, but instead sliding in safe at first is Marrero. Good hustle.
Great slide there by Marrero. Tough play by Flaherty. Tries to backhand the ball here, knocks it down. Gets up, has to rush his throw a little bit. Chris Davis has to come off the bag. Devin Marrero running with his head up. You're taught, as soon as you see that first baseman move, slide to the outside part of the bag. Nice slide there, touches it with his hand. Safe, taking advantage of a mistake.
See, I think of you as old school, and I'm shocked to hear you say, great slide, head first slide into first base.
Well, you can't sprint down the first baseline and avoid a tag when you see that first baseman come off the base. I'm not a fan of a close play and sliding into first base, but as soon as you see that first baseman come off the bag, you immediately veer out to the outside. You read his body language, veer out to the outside and tag it with your hand. Now, saying that, I've never been one with enough agility to do it myself, but I've seen some great players do it. Watch him right here, running hard out of the box, sees him make the mistake, see his eyes right there on the first baseman, immediately steps to the inside, pushes on his left foot to push himself to the outside part of the bag and touch it with his hand. That way the first baseman has no ability to reach for the ball and tag him because he's off the base.
Sandy Leone now up for Boston. But Buster's point is well taken. They've always had those stats. They said, when sprinters run the 100 meters, they don't slide at the end. They stay up the whole time. You got to run through the bag. No doubt, no doubt, and you're taught not to, especially with the hand injuries that are all around Major League Baseball right now. But I'll tell you this, and I was never a speed guy, but when you run and you're running as hard as you can, your momentum takes you forward. Whether it's to second base, third base, first base, your momentum is carrying you forward. So as your chest is forward, the natural move is not to drop down and slide on your behind. It's to dive, and it doesn't look great, and it's a lot of those guys that are busting out of the box and running as hard as they can. So you don't want to take that aggressiveness away from them. But when you see that first baseman like Marrero did come off the base, you got to get down because he's looking for a sweep tag.
See, if John Lester was sitting in my seat, when you started talking about momentum running forward, chest going out, he would have absolutely jumped on you.
They would have buried me for sure, for sure. They jump at any chance to bury me. All my old teammates.
Anthony Rizzo text coming. 3, 2. Let's go back to the studio checking after the walk to Sandy Leone.
Adnan, Royals and the Blue Jays, and this one's been all Kansas City. Eric Hosmer with a 2-run double. Tex, how disappointing of a season has it been for Toronto?
It's been very disappointing. You looked at their team to start the season. You said this roster has a chance to go all the way. It just hasn't worked out.
Salvador Perez then adding to it just moments ago. A 2-run shot, part of an 8-run second inning. All Kansas City. Adnan, started to be a Debbie Downer, bro.
Marco Estrada's coming back, all right, Buster. There's 1-year contract. Jays are looking to shore up the pitching a little bit.
Yeah, the Jays are looking to shore up the pitching. You're right. They're trying to win in 2018. Royals probably headed toward rebuilding. Eric Hosmer, an intriguing free agent case, okay? Because when you look at the big market teams, a lot of them already have first basemen. But yesterday, indication, San Francisco Chronicle, the Giants might be in the market. Be a good fit.
Interesting. Nice play there made by the first baseman Chris Davis to retire Jackie Bradley Jr. first out of the inning.
Eric Hosmer is hitting .225 at the end of April. Since then, he's been unbelievable.
Quibble sometimes, they say not enough power for the first baseman, but
hey, he's playing in Kansas City too.
That's a good point. I mean, you put him in this ballpark, I guarantee his numbers go up, right? I mean,
it's true.
And he's Gold Glove D. I mean, it doesn't get much better than him at first base.
Curious to see what he'll get on the open market. Xander Bogaerts now the best scoring opportunity early in this game. Runners on second and third for the Red Sox shortstop.
Buster, interesting thing. I got to talk to. Excuse me. I get to talk to Chili Davis during batting practice, and I kind of talked about Bogey a little bit, Xander Bogaerts, and how his swing is much different than you see in the game. Everybody's talking launch angle, and he really wants to get on top of the ball. You see him hitting down the ball a lot more than most hitters, and it stands out to me when I watch this game. And I talked to Chili a little bit, and he said it's almost, sometimes with Bogey, he wants to do it to the extreme. He'll get 2 on top of the ball, but he knows his game is hitting hard line drives gap to gap. He said he worked on 1 month, he worked on trying to get a little more elevation on the ball, and it just didn't work for him. So look for Xander to stay up the middle, stay on top of the ball, kind of how I was taught coming up, hit down the ball through the baseball and create backspin.
And he has a reputation among his teammates as being someone who he needs to build his confidence, is my sense of him, that he will be down on himself a little bit. And if he has some success with what you're talking about, he'll build on it.
Well, and he's a pleaser. He's one of those guys that's trying to please all the coaches, please his teammates. A great kid, wants to do what's best for the team, and that's what you're talking about. He needs that success to give him some confidence. He came up in 13, was a huge part of our success in winning the World Series, taking a move from third base all the way to short now, and has played some great shortstop. But you're right, he's a guy that needs that confidence because he wants to please everybody.
As opposed to a Mookie Betts, who my sense is he knows he's going to figure it out. He knows he's going to figure it out, but it's just a question of time.
Well, and that's the mental side of this game is there's some of us that, beat ourselves up and we focus on the negative and we focus on what we did wrong. And then there's guys like Mookie who knows that he's great. He knows he's a great player. He knows every time he goes out there, he's one of the superstars on the field. And he was like that when he got called up in 14. He knew he belonged in the big leagues, even though they rushed him there a little bit. In a lot of people's eyes, but we needed him on that team. We needed him to play outfield for us. Now he's one of the best right fielders in the game and one of the best players in the game.
Interesting, the Red Sox, the philosophy may be espoused by Chili Davis, but they've won 24 games this season in which they hit 0 home runs. That's the most in Major League Baseball. No other AL team has more than 18 such wins. We're seeing the year of the home run, yet Boston is not buying in on that.
Who would have guessed?
Well,
right?
Especially in Boston.
Right. 27th in Major League Baseball, 156 home runs.
When I think Boston Red Sox, I think power hitters. When in my era, it came up watching Manny and David, and they're playing the game. They don't give it away at bats. You see, they run the bases well. They don't give away at bats. They grind at bats. I know that's a term we use a lot, but it's the truth.
Miley walks Bogarts. Let's go back to studio. Brick.
And the remarkable story that is the Milwaukee Brewers will win tonight against the Pirates, and they would be tied with the Rockies for the final wild card spot. Domingo Santana going oppo. Home run number 2 on the night for the Brewers. Up 2-0 on the Pirates.
27 home runs for Santana. Thanks for that, Brick. Dustin Pedroia now up with the bases loaded here in the top of the 3rd. Coming off the nasal contusion suffered on Monday.
This here's your typical situation. Looking for a double play. Wade Miley's probably going to stay down and away with some sink or a changeup, and then try to back foot Dustin for a strikeout if he's able to stay ahead of him, or really get a weak ground ball to one of his infielders.
Pedroia lines that pitch to the shortstop, and they get 2. Nice play by J.J. Hardy, who then quickly fires to scope. You see the frustration on Pedroia's face. Wade Miley escapes a bases-loaded jam. We're scoreless here in Baltimore as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. One more look at it here as Hardy quickly makes the stab and then the wherewithal to get the double play.
Boogie on down to Cricket Wireless to get unlimited data for only $50 per month with the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get a free select smartphone when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
I think someone like you keeps a long memory. Tell me what you remember.
This is bigger than you.
You have 48 hours to find him, or you bought a war.
We were being hunted. I have the lock, and he has the key. Bring him home.
Rated R. Experience it in IMAX. October 6th.
Introducing Wendy's new Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
It's a Giant Junior?
Yeah, it's a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger with double the fresh, never frozen beef, bacon, and cheese. So it's made a big name for itself. For a limited time, get the Giant JBC meal for just $5.
What is PlayStation Vue? It's watching your favorite shows and sports, live, recorded, or on demand. It's watching across multiple devices at the same time. PlayStation Vue is a whole new way to watch live TV. And it starts right now. Even if you don't have a PlayStation, start your free trial today.
PlayStation.
get ready for excitement, drama, and thrilling plays. The 2017 Major League Baseball postseason begins October 3rd. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Boston Red Sox magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 2 with a win, and if the Angels lose tonight, they'll at least have a wild card spot. Chris Sale has never been in the playoffs, second longest stretch, in fact, of any second most strikeouts never appear in the postseason. Felix Hernandez, 2,336. It's been a long time since Seattle's been in the playoffs, but Chris Sale, after all those years pitching on the south side, now is going to get his chance in the postseason.
And I couldn't be more excited than to watch this guy take the bump in the postseason. I feel like he's a big game pitcher, rises to the occasion. I'm super excited about watching him pitch in the postseason.
Who do you guys think for Boston's number 2 starter? Is it Drew Pomeranz? Is it Eduardo Rodriguez? Now that Price is going to be in the bullpen?
Well, I think they're going to go. Pomeranz pitches good at home and has got good numbers at home. So, I think they go Pomeranz at home and maybe Rodriguez on the road, or Porcello, Porcello on the road, have better numbers on the road. So I think that's going to come into their decision, the home and road splits that their pitchers have. But I would look. Pomeranz looked really good last night again on the road, and John told me that was some of his worst outings. I mean, he didn't have, he had 91, 90, 91, where usually he's 93, 94.
Yeah, after a slow start, Pomeranz has been excellent, particularly the last couple of months for Boston, as Sale deposits Chris Davis. Let's take a look at our expert advice, brought to you by Ace Hardware. So who's the Sox number 2 postseason starter? Mentioned Pomeranz, especially lately, 2 earned runs or fewer in 22 of 30 starts. Porcello was the Cy Young Award winner a season ago. Now he leads the American League in hits and home runs allowed, so that's a much different story. Pfister, 11 earned in 6 innings of his last 2 starts. And then there's Erod, 4.15 ERA, 10 strikeouts per 9. 2 starts of more than 6 innings, so he's not a durable guy.
Yeah, and 3 weeks ago, I would have guessed that Doug Pfister would have been in that mix because he was throwing so well. And that first-round matchup, if in fact they play Houston, very right-handed hitting lineup. Pfister with his stuff, maybe he would have been a really good matchup in that situation, but he struggled in his most recent starts.
Well, I watched that most recent start too. It was a really tight strike zone. I was talking to Sandy in the locker room about it. It was a really tight zone, and you need that. If you're Doug Pfister, you need that sinker. You need that bottom of the strike zone call, and he wasn't getting it, and it was trouble early on, and the Red Sox went to the bullpen. So I still think he's got the stuff to be maybe another guy like Price. You put him in the pen, and if somebody struggles, you got that gap to the back end of that bullpen. I love when teams do that. I was a part of some teams that did that, and you got guys that come out and they're starter stuff.
J.J. Hardy sending a drive to center, but that'll be caught by Jackie Bradley Jr. Back to the studio. Brick.
And now we got an NL East update for you. Nationals on the road taking on the Braves. Gio Gonzalez getting help right away in the leadoff spot. Trey Turner could be the X factor for the Nationals in the postseason.
It's huge having him back. He's a star player. Back healthy would be big for the Nats.
That was his 6th career leadoff home run. Freddie Freeman, though, answering for the Braves. His 28th. We're tied up at 1 in the 2nd. Back to you guys in Baltimore.
All right, thanks, fellas. Keep us posted. Washington, all the pub obviously around the Dodgers before that losing streak. Chicago defending champions, but maybe Washington is the team to beat in the National League, Buster.
And wow, are they talented. And great news coming out of Bryce Harper. He's feeling better. Simulated games on the field. I mean, from Trey Turner to those guys in the rotation to Anthony Rendon, that team is loaded. And I think of all the intriguing potential series in the postseason, Dodgers-Nationals, with all that each of those franchises would have to lose, would be the most fascinating series.
Even the thought of the likes of Scherzer and Strasburg against Bellinger and Seager, the other side, Harper versus Kershaw, Darvish versus Anthony Rendon. I mean, that's baseball. We love the matchups. You got matchups all over the place. That would be great. No shortage of star power there. 1-2 count here on Flaherty from Sale.
Well, let's face it, I'm a writer, so I'm going to probably skew to the negative. I'm thinking of what's at stake for the loser, right?
Yeah.
Dodgers haven't won a World Series since Clayton Kershaw was 7 months old. So they're trying to get over that hump. The Nationals have never won the World Series. They have this window of opportunity. They're trying to break through. Boy, for the loser of that series, wow.
Stealing signs here. Come on, what's going on? Don't they know? You can't be sending that to anybody. I see that. And he flipped it over immediately. Trust me, I'm not doing anything here. Nothing to see here, and he got him. Chris Sale already has 5 strikeouts to 3 innings of work. He came in 13 away from 300. He's now 8 away. Top of the 4th. We go.
Is this my car? State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Is this my car?
This is ridiculous!
This is ridiculous. Ah!
From car insurance to car loans, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Nothing comes before coffee. It's your morning savior. That's why we are introducing a new line of cafe-quality espresso drinks from McCafe, like the iced caramel macchiato. So now you can face those morning people. Get any small for just $2.
Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good! So good!
Make your commute a little sweeter in the newly redesigned Hyundai Sonata, our best Sonata ever.
Enjoy the ride. It's starting right now. One more ride, one more race. We go all out. He got him. One more ride, one more race. We don't slow down, ain't no breaks. I'ma go all out. How good was that? No matter what we face. This ball crushed. Gotta go now. Go now. I'ma go off. I'ma go off. I'ma go off. Yeah, I gotta go now.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball on ESPN, presented by Hankook Tire. The most popular way to follow the postseason push is with MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat today. At bat is Andrew Benintendi here to lead off the top of the 4th. Scoreless game right now at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Wade Miley already doing much better than he did his last outing. He struggled mightily against the New York Yankees. Failed to escape the first inning, throwing a third of an inning, allowed 6 runs on 6 hits. That was his 3rd straight loss back on September 14th at Yankee Stadium, but he's been much better against Boston, coming in 2-0 with a 1.5 ERA, 2 earned runs over 12 innings of work, and so far looking good as Benintendi does drop that one to the left for a leadoff base hit.
Nice swing by Benintendi right there, staying inside the baseball, filleting it to left. Lefty on lefty, you have to stay inside this two-seamer. He's going to try to sink it in. Pulls his hands in nicely, backside first. Little off the fist, but is able to throw out there in no man's land. Great job out of the box. Almost went for 2 right here.
Everybody loves Benintendi's swing, and they talk about his natural ability to get the ball in the air and how they think that's going to play big time in the big leagues.
And when you see a young guy come up and staying inside a nasty lefty, a nice lefty, left-on-left matchup, and you see him not bailing and staying inside the baseball, you know that the ceiling is as Jordan would say, the ceiling is a roof. Is that what we say?
Well done.
By the way, Wade Miley tonight, this is kind of an audition for him. He's got a $12 million option for 2018, and the Orioles are trying to decide what to do. They know next year they got Kevin Gossman, they have Dylan Bundy. We just saw Marco Estrada get $13 million from the Blue Jays. Is a $12 million option something you want to exercise on Wade Miley?
It's a great point you bring up, Buster. They've got $60 million coming off the books as Mookie Betts lifts that ball into right and out of play. Tillman could come back. Miley, J.J. Hardy, Ubaldo Jimenez. You've got 3/5 of the rotation still to fill. If you go Tillman and Miley, you only need one pitcher, Rossi. Otherwise, you've got multiple holes.
Yeah, you know, the price of pitching is what it is. But when you got a guy that takes the bump regularly, and as the Baltimore Orioles have struggled in the pitching department, really over the last few years, and really relied on their bullpen. You need somebody that's going to eat some innings, and Wade Miley may be that guy.
Saw the shot of Dan Duquette, the general manager of the Orioles there. They need a plow horse. That guy, innings eater, and I'm not saying this is the guy because I don't think they'll sign him, Lance Lynn. Boy, would he be perfect in terms of being a guy that you could put right in the middle of the rotation, take pressure off the younger guys, eat some innings. He's been terrific for the Cardinals this year. He's a free agent.
What's funny, like you said, Lance Lynn's not the sexy name that I think everybody thinks about, but all he does is give you innings and W's. I mean, I know that the W's not an important stat anymore, but it is for when you're looking at a guy that's going to take the bump every fifth day, give you your innings, going to compete, and knows how to win, and been in big environments and big situations. Buck Showalter, I guarantee you, would love to have a guy like that.
The predictability of a guy like that is something they really need.
That's what you're looking for from your teammates in Major League Baseball, and I think front office and coaches are looking for. You're looking for talent, obviously, but
Mookie Betts here lines up on the left, and that's gone. A 2-run home run for Mookie Betts, his 23rd of the season, and Boston goes up 2-0 here in the fourth.
Line shot here by Mookie Betts. Takes this breaking ball down and in, coming into his barrel, stays through it, that backside staying down there with the baseball, and hits a line drive out to the left. That ball was hit on a line. What a rocket.
A great swing by Mookie Betts. And how many ballparks is that out of in the big leagues?
One. This one. maybe Cincy. It's got the high wall. Yeah, right. Maybe. But yeah, this is a nice. I hit 2 home runs. I tell you a funny story, and I don't want to talk about me, but we will for a second, okay?
We got plenty of time, Rossi.
I was in. Derek Lowe took the mound here, and I didn't play in a day game where I normally would play, so I was kind of pouting on the bench when I was with the Braves, and Derek Lowe went out and gave up 13 in the first 3 innings. So I came in the 5th, and I got 2 at bats. I hit 2 home runs, and we lost 15-2. And everybody on the bus is all down, and I'm the happiest guy on the back of the bus, calling my mom. I'm like, "Did you see that? 2 for 2 and 2 homers. That'll change your career stats."
I'm leading baseball tonight.
Right. It was good. It was the worst feeling and the greatest feeling all in one. The whole team's miserable except for me.
Hitters love to hit in this park. They talk, I've heard through the years, not only the dimensions, which are wonderful if you're a hitter, but also the lights. They talk about the lighting being so excellent.
Well, I've always loved this place, and I think the nostalgia, the atmosphere, everybody loves the warehouse and Wright. Coming here, the fan base is knowledgeable about baseball. It's a beautiful ballpark, and I'm kind of biased. I've always loved the green seat ballparks with the brick. The more brick and green seats you can have, it just feels so American. If that's even a thing, it just feels baseball.
When they built it, the designer said, "I do not want to see concrete," and so you have steel, all the steel, the old ballpark look.
That's cool.
By the way, we looked at the dimensions there. In left center field, you see the 364 sign. Okay. When I covered the Orioles back in the mid-'90s, some of the Oriole pitchers didn't think that distance was right, so they actually ran a tape out to left center field, okay? According to the pitchers, take it for what it's worth, 350. That's what they always said. Now, they moved home plate since then, so it doesn't apply, but
right.
Back then, conspiracy theories were ripe.
I love it. Shockers, the pitchers. Shocker. Yeah.
That's why I put in the qualifier for you.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that's great.
It's amazing to think 25 years at Camden Yards, all these different ballparks. The Braves obviously have a new ballpark. Lasted a couple decades. They can't change this anytime soon. This is still the pinnacle.
And I played college ball at Auburn.
Hanley Ramirez there, base hit into the gap in right center. Making a charge towards second. And he'll go in there with a stand-up double. Finish your thought.
Well, yeah, I played baseball at Auburn University. When I signed there, they were building a new stadium, and they modeled it after Camden Yards. It's brick. It's got all the steel gates. It's got a monster in left, but the overall feel with the green seats and the brick, it's a lot like this ballpark, and that's what they modeled it after.
Buster, you've been everywhere. Camden Yards, top 3 ballpark.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
This was my home office when I was at the Baltimore Sun for 2 years. I love coming back to this park. Just the feel of it. I mean, David, you described it perfectly, the nostalgia, and that's what, when they designed it, Jana Marie Smith was the one who designed Camden Yards, and Larry Lucchino, who went on to work for the Red Sox, that's what they talked about wanting to make it old-timey feel, because Larry was from Pittsburgh and had that old Ford Field look he enjoyed, and that's what they went for here, and boy, did they get it.
I mean, I think when you look around the league, the beautiful ballparks that stand out and all the players talk about, it's here, it's your Wrigley, it's your Fenway, the history, it's your San Francisco.
Yep.
You know, there's so many great ballparks out there. The new Brace, Pittsburgh. You know, you mentioned that. I think that's one of the guys. Everybody that goes to that stadium is just in awe. Like, wow, this is beautiful. Especially the young guys. You come in and go to Pittsburgh, and they're like, wow. You know, it's just a beautiful backdrop. Great setup.
As the story goes, the White Sox actually had the plans for this ballpark first, and instead they went with the Comiskey, this Comiskey 2 instead of this ballpark. It's because of this ballpark and the influence of this ballpark. I absolutely believe Larry Lucchino should go in the Hall of Fame, because he changed the way ballparks are designed and built in baseball, and everyone has borrowed from Camden Yards since this place was built.
And as they should. You're talking about the warehouse, the brick, the gates outside, the steel gates, right? The wrought iron gates are just so beautiful when you walk in. It's just nice to walk. I was here yesterday watching the game. It's just nice to walk around this ballpark.
Strikeout there, Travis. Back to the studio. Brick?
All right, Adnan, time now for T-Mobile deeper coverage of baseball. Check-in Pittsburgh with the Brewers and the Pirates. 2-0 lead gone. Adam Frazier, 2-run triple, and Starling Marte, the go-ahead RBI single.
It's a huge game for Milwaukee. A win puts them in a tie for the wild card.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, fellas. Milwaukee hanging in there, making things interesting, not only for that second wild card, but also the NL Central. There's Marrero, who reached base on that error last inning. Giving Rafael Devers the night off, so Marrero stepping in for John Farrell.
Rossi, based on what you've seen of Miley tonight, what would you focus on as a catcher?
Getting ahead. I would establish something. You know, I feel like I don't know what kind of pitcher he is by watching. I know he likes.
Marrero drives that pitch into center, and that ball's gone. Marrero with a 2-run home run, and the Red Sox double their lead 4-0.
You see here, middle cut fastball, trying to go in, leaves it belt high, up, out, over. You're going to pay for those balls. Great swing here by Marrero. Staying inside, very difficult to do. Driving the ball to right center. You know you're having a good approach when this is the result. Right center home run. That's the goal for each hitter.
See the exit velocity about 102 miles an hour. This one goes 406. The second 2-run home run of the fourth. Betts and Marrero both victimizing Miley.
To your point, Buster, I would try to establish a head and a little bit of an angle. Here you see the boys all excited, getting on TV. Excited for Devin and Hanley. Hanley's back with the double. A lot of power from the Red Sox today, driving the baseball. But I think the angle of the pitches look really flat. A lot of his pitches look flat coming through the zone. When he's got that depth, which looked like he had a little bit better angle to his fastball, and his changeup and the breaking pitches early on in the game, was getting some swing and misses and some easy outs, some quick outs.
Boy, if you're the Red Sox now, I mean, it seems like that day after day after day, the Yankees result is posted before the Boston game is over, and they know that they need to win, and they keep answering. And yet again today, the Yankees win this afternoon, cut the lead back to 2.5. Here the Red Sox are answering.
The Yankees are amazing. I watched them get down 3 early on, and I'm like, wow, okay, they might lose this game. And within 15 seconds, it was tied back up. I'm like, man, that didn't take long. Those people are grinding for 3. They had to happen in a couple seconds. Judge and Sanchez back to back.
Yeah, Sox have been in sole possession of first place in the AL East since the end of play on August 1st, but 7 consecutive days with the lead of exactly 3 games. The Yankees keep the heat on, but Boston keeps on winning as Sandy Leon striking out here.
Miley's 4 hits he's given up. It's all about location this inning. Ball's middle down there to Mookie. That's good hitting. Down there to Hanley. That's not good pitching there. Middle, flat. Those down balls all in the middle of the zone. Just got to get a little more angle to the corners like he was in the first couple innings.
See how successful he was that first time through the lineup. Miley actually, if you look at his numbers, he's most successful the 3rd time when facing a lineup. So he gets stronger the deeper he goes into games. The first time through, that's very atypical for him. Normally struggles the first time through.
Can I play devil's advocate on that stat?
Sure.
My guess is that on those occasions when he's pitched well, they leave him in. And the days that he gets hammered, it's the first and second time through, and he's not in there for the 3rd one.
That's true. We have to look at the number of pitches thrown in each of those 3 quadrants. Investigator, reporter, Buster Olney.
That's all you look at it, right? Yeah.
Because I've heard from evaluators this year, constantly they talk about the Orioles is the pitching, the starting pitching is constantly put the offense in a hole early in the game, and this is a classic example of that.
And that's the worst. That's the worst as a teammate when you're constantly fighting from behind and you know they're doing the best they can. You don't fault them for that, but when you're every night you're trying to come from behind, and the opposing pitcher can really attack you when they're behind. They have nothing to lose because they're ahead in the game.
Oh man, the 33rd pitch of the inning. Miley thinks he's finally out of it, and neither Chris Davis or Jonathan Scope can come up with it. That's on the first baseman.
Yeah, I think Chris Davis would tell you he should have had this ball. Starts backpedaling, trying to get the second hop a little better, kind of an in-between hop, and just gets to the side of that and doesn't get in front of it. Got to try to get in front of that, move your feet and adjust. You see the disgust on his face. He's pretty disappointed in himself, as I'm sure his starting pitcher is.
Now, he's the first one to tell you that he should have made that play. Do you think that becomes more prevalent in a long inning for a team that getting beat up like this in this inning?
Well, and I think that's why you saw Roger McDowell take a mound visit just now, is to give Wade a break and give the bullpen time to warm up. It definitely does take its toll when you're out there for a long time. I've never played a position other than catcher, but standing out there for a long inning and your pitcher's getting hit around or walking guys, it takes a toll and you get a little flat-footed. I think there's probably some correlation in team defense and how many strikes and how quick your pitcher works.
Starts off Xander Bogaerts with a strike. Bogaerts grounded out to the second baseman in the first and walked in the third.
I always try to, as a catcher, these are the times, I know we're trying to limit visits to the mound and speed the game up, but in these types of innings is when you're trying to go, okay, hey, let me go out here and give my guy a break. I know he's grinding right now, made some tough pitches, guys having good at-bats. Let me go out and try to slow him down. I mean, it's 4-0 with the lineup that the Orioles have. They're still in this baseball game. Chris Sale on the mound doesn't help things for their cause, but, you got to slow them down and get them back focused on the next pitch. And the pitchers that can do that and are strong in their mental mindset of just turning the page to the next pitch are the ones that usually have success and are able to come out of this with a W at some point.
Pitch number 38 already of the inning for Wade Miley. Fouled off. Let's go back to the studio quickly. Brick?
And John Lester has only had one scoreless start this season, and the struggles continue against the Rays tonight.
And the Cubs are playing a lot better, but unless Lester is the guy they had last year, it's going to be tough to repeat.
Kevin Kiermaier with the RBI single. Rays up 4-0 on the Cubs. Adnan, who've won 7 in a row.
Brick Tex, thank you very much. Certainly the Cubs, people thought maybe after the Quintana trade, started off the second half so well, would run away with the Central, but it hasn't been the case as Milwaukee and St. Louis have hung around.
When they have played better as of late, but Johnny's not himself yet, and he's got to get back to his form if they're gonna go where that organization expects to go and repeat as I think most of them would like to, because there's some tough competition out there. There's some serious, really good teams, and you need John Lester to be John Lester.
The 2-2 to Bogarts.
Foul ball after foul ball. Another thing for the Cubs, it's going to be important tomorrow. Jake Arrieta takes the mound, and he had the hamstring issue. And look, they're putting him out on the mound, but that's one where I'm going to be watching with fingers crossed for Jake Arrieta and the Cubs.
You're exactly right.
Boy, that type of a pitcher that big, that delivery, you wonder if they're saying, look, we have to try to get him back, but they know there's a possibility of a re-injury.
Finally strikes out Bogarts. 11 foul balls this inning and a couple of home runs as well. Mookie Betts goes deep for his 23rd home runs in the year. Yeah, that's right. I see it too. And Devin Marrero going deep for a 2-run shot as well. 4-0 Boston. They're having fun right now at Camden Yards.
Introducing Wendy's new Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
It's a Giant Junior?
Yeah, it's a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger with double the fresh, never frozen beef, bacon, and cheese. So it's made a big name for itself. For a limited time, get the Giant JBC meal for just $5.
I needed something more to help control my type 2 diabetes.
My A1C wasn't where it needed to be. So I liked when my doctor told me that I may reach my blood sugar and A1C goals by activating what's within me with once weekly Trulicity.
Trulicity is not insulin. It helps activate my body to do what it's supposed to do, release its own insulin.
I take it once a week and it works 24/7. It comes in an easy-to-use pen, and I may even lose a little weight.
Trulicity is a once-weekly injectable prescription medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes when used with diet and exercise. Trulicity is not insulin. It should not be the first medicine to treat diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Trulicity if you or a family member has had medullary thyroid cancer, if you've had multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Trulicity. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have a lump or swelling in your neck, severe pain in your stomach, or symptoms such as itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis, which can be fatal. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, and indigestion. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may make existing kidney problems worse.
Once weekly Trulicity may help me reach my blood sugar goals. With Trulicity, I click to activate what's within me.
If you want help improving your A1C and blood sugar, activate your within. Ask your doctor about once weekly Trulicity.
We were scoreless through 3, and then the Red Sox had a couple of 2-run home runs from Mookie Betts and Devin Marrero as well. So it's 4-0 now, Boston in the bottom of the 4th. A nice lead to give Chris Sale, Boston's ace, on the mound tonight.
Steady progress toward those strikeouts, the 300.
Yeah, he's got 5 so far. He is 8 away from the 300 in the season. Now number 2 all-time in single season in Red Sox history. So Pedro back in 1999 with 313, and Sale tonight has now eclipsed the Rocket Man, Roger Clemens.
That's some elite company right there.
Yeah. Anytime it's just Pedro, Roger, and you.
You're pretty doing all right. Yeah.
Austin Hayes here, the right fielder for Baltimore, quickly down 1-2, trying to avoid being the 6th victim of the night.
Austin Hayes started the year Class A Frederick, and in September he's batting against Chris Sale. It was only 16 months ago or 17 months ago he was at University of Jacksonville.
Wow. That always blows my mind with these young guys now, the poise and how fast they get to the big leagues.
Well, you can say he joins good company as he gets rings up the strikeout versus Chris Sale, 6th of the night for Sale.
Sale is having his way so far tonight. Nice changeup here. You see changeup grip. Everything's been coming back. Say, nope, we're going to go outside and let this thing fade down away to Mr. Hayes. Hadn't seen too many of those pitchers in Jacksonville, has he? Hadn't seen too many guys like this.
Insane. Oh, the makeup of Chris Sale.
You know what I like, and from a catcher's perspective, to talk about Chris, and not too much, but leadoff batters of every inning this year, reaching base at a 21% clip. That's the lowest in Major League Baseball. As a catcher, that's what you're taught. You're taught, get the leadoff guy out of the inning, and then we can work from there. Anything can happen. You get that leadoff guy, you're always a pitch away, a strikeout away, as Chris Sale does, of being with 2 outs or a ground ball, a turn, and double play. That leadoff guy, especially late in the game, is so important to having a good outing.
Yeah, that 21% lowest on base percentage allowed by a qualifying pitcher. There's a reason why you're one of the best in the game when you quickly record that first out.
Yeah, it's and from a other team's perspective, when I was in Chicago last night, we were always trying to get that leadoff guy on. So much can happen. Your manager can manipulate, hit and run, put guys in motion. So much can happen. So much pressure when you get that leadoff guy on.
Trey Mancini stays alive. 97-mile-an-hour heat from Sale.
Trey's up there hacking too. I mean, that's that high heat. That's tough to foul off. It's a good protection job. There we go.
His stuff seems electric tonight.
It looks really good. It looks really good. That slider's nice. It got some good bite to it, and to see the changeup fade like that. There, look at that. I mean, the depth of that changeup right there was nice. I mean, just the fade. He's got everything to come back to you. You got to have something that goes away from the right-handed hitter. They're right-handed heavy. The Orioles are. So to be able to, you see right here, fastball 207.
Yeah, he's been most successful with the slider so far this year. Opposing batters hitting just 169 against Chris Sale's slider. Fastball 207, the changeup at 279. So that's your best bet, is the changeup against this guy. But obviously he's not throwing as many changeups as he is fastballs and sliders.
Well, and that slider, it starts out of, feels like right field. Like right there. I mean, just to foul that off, we were talking earlier about the angle at which it comes in at. It's just, it almost starts in the other batter's box and fades to the outside corner. Or one that comes in. This is almost middle in. You see Sandy setting up in. A little bit middle, really, and it starts. Look how far outside that starts. I mean, that's right down the middle. You can barely follow it off right through the legs.
Mancini right back up the box, and Sale almost takes a tumble. Mancini is going to reach base, but they quickly want to check. Is Chris Sale okay?
It's a great at-bat by another young guy, Trey Mancini, fouling off some tough pitches and hitting that ball right back up the middle.
You see Chris Sale give John Farrell a...
Right here, look at this. After that tough pitch, that fastball starts away, hits it right back up the middle. Really where you got to stay off Chris Sale, it's stay up the middle. Oh, watch that. It's that thigh. He didn't have a whole lot of meat like me on his bones, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably bone on bone or ball on bone.
Yeah. Long and lean.
Yeah.
And in the dugout, you can see John Farrell, the athletic trainer, looking to see if they wanted to come out, and Chris Sale wouldn't even look at them.
Jonathan Scope, first pitch swinging, rips it, but is snared by the third baseman Marrero. First pitch swinging.
They want a hack. No, you're right. Chris Sale was having none of a trainer to come out and talk to him. To beat it. Get out of my rhythm.
That's true.
First pitch swing in here. Nice play by Devin Marrero. Ball's got a little dive to it, getting around that ball. Jonathan Scope did. And tough ball, tough play there for Marrero, but stayed with it. Those sinking liners are hard to catch.
Adam Jones now for Baltimore with 2 down, and Mancini on first.
Buster, we talked a little bit to Adam in the locker room about getting hit in the hand last night. What did he say to you?
Well, and he was hit by Craig Kimbrell throwing about 99 miles an hour on the right hand. I wanted to take a picture of it, and he wouldn't let me take a picture of his hand. He was like, no, it's nothing. It was as old school as you're going to get. Look, I'm in the lineup. I'm playing. Here it was last night. Adam Jones getting hit on the hand by Craig Kimbrell. Rossi, you said you've never got hit on the hand?
No, that's probably why I have a bad swing. It's because I didn't bring my hands first. I don't know why. If it came anywhere at me, I'm like, oh gosh, please don't hurt me.
Wait, you knew you needed those hands behind the plate at all costs.
I don't know. I think it's he's coming through to the baseball, but to get hit on the knuckle, it was some swelling in there.
His hand was scraped where the baseball.
Yeah, the skin was gone.
The skin was gone off the hand, but he wanted nothing to do with the picture. Hey, I'm in the lineup. It's my job to play.
And that's where I think baseball players don't get enough credit for being tougher than they're perceived. And sometimes who knows what's going on, like we talked about earlier with Machado, who's not feeling good. Great at bat by Adam in his first at bat, and he's dealing with a bad hand and comes out of there with a base hit. 99 on the knuckles cannot feel very good.
Oof. 98.
Oh man.
And you post up the next day.
There you go. That's a teammate. When you're talking about good teammates, you expect your guys. If you're going to win the big games and you're going to have production, you need your horses out there all the time. Manny Machado grinding through a little bit of a sickness last few days, and finally the manager goes, hey, I know you're trying to grind through this, but I'm going to take it out of your hands.
This is the town of Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. There you go. Yeah. There you go. If you got no excuse, the fans don't want to hear it here. I'm not playing today because I got a boo-boo.
Chris Sale flu, maybe.
Well, we used to get a lot of pitchers that have that Denver, Colorado fever, I don't feel so good in Colorado,
Sale, by the way, hit 99 on the gun that last pitch, so plenty of giddy up on that heater tonight. Full count to Adam Jones.
Oh, gosh.
Jones doing it right away. Was not looking for that pitch at all.
That is nasty.
99 to 82. Good luck with that. Chris Sale, 7th strikeout tonight. He's been money.
Banking with Capital One is so straightforward. What you see is what you get. In this case, what you get is one of the nation's best savings rates on an account you can open in about 5 minutes. This is Banking Reimagined.
Welcome to Furniture Waitlist, serving all customers around the area. We offer the most